Planning for your future college success chapter script. Here's a wild stat. Nearly 50% of college students change their major at least once. And yet, most of us walk into college with zero plan for what comes after graduation. Today, we fix that. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to start planning your future, from choosing the right path, to building real-world experience, to setting yourself up for a career you actually want. Let's get into it. Section 1. Why planning early matters. Let's start with something most students get completely wrong. They think planning for the future is something you do in your senior year, maybe after you've figured out your major, maybe after you've landed some internships. Here's the truth. Waiting that long puts you years behind. Think of college like a 4-year runway. The earlier you start moving, the more speed you build before takeoff. Students who begin thinking about their goals in their first or second year have more time to explore, make mistakes, and correct course, without the pressure of graduation breathing down their necks. Now, planning doesn't mean you need to have everything figured out today. It means you need to start asking the right questions. Questions like, what do I enjoy doing? What kind of lifestyle do I want? What problems do I want to help solve in the world? The earlier you ask those questions, the earlier you start gathering answers. And those answers are what build a real plan. Not a fantasy, not a vague dream, but an actual roadmap. Here's what most people don't realize. The students who seem like they got lucky with great jobs right out of college weren't lucky. They started planning early. Which brings us to our next big question. How do you actually figure out what you want? Section 2. Exploring your interests and values. Before you can plan a future, you need to understand yourself. That sounds a little deep, but stay with me. This is actually one of the most practical things you can do. Career planning experts talk a lot about two things: interests and values. Your interests are what you naturally gravitate toward. Your values are what matters most to you in how you live and work. Do you value independence, helping others, financial security, creative freedom? When your career aligns with both your interests and your values, work doesn't feel like a trap. When it doesn't, well, that's how people end up miserable in a well-paying job, counting down the minutes until Friday. One tool that can help is a career assessment. Most college career centers offer these for free. Tools like the Strong Interest Inventory or the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator can give you a starting point. Not a final answer, but a mirror that shows you patterns you might not have noticed about yourself. Another simple exercise. Think about the moments in your life when you felt most engaged, most alive, most focused. What were you doing? Who were you helping? These clues add up fast. So you know what you like and what you value. But how do you connect that to a real career path? That's exactly where we're headed next. Section 3. Researching career paths. Here's where a lot of students stall out. They know their interests. They have a rough idea of what they want, but they have no idea what actual jobs exist in that space. The job market is massive, and most of us only know about the careers we've seen up close or seen in movies. Start by researching broadly. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics has a free resource called the Occupational Outlook Handbook. It breaks down hundreds of careers, what they pay, what education you need, what the job actually looks like day to day, and whether that field is growing or shrinking. But data only tells part of the story. The most powerful research you can do is talking to real people doing the jobs you're curious about. This is called an informational interview, and it's wildly underused by college students. An informational interview is simple. You reach out to someone working in a field you're interested in. You ask for 20 to 30 minutes of their time, and you ask them about their career path, what they love, what they do differently. Most professionals are genuinely happy to help a curious student. You'll learn more in one conversation than in hours of online searching. And bonus, you just made a professional contact. Speaking of which, that leads us to something most students seriously underestimate. Section 4. Building experience and connections. Here's a hard truth. Your degree gets you in the door. Your experience and your network determine what's on the other side of that door. Employers consistently say they want candidates with practical experience. Internships, part-time jobs, volunteer work, research projects, student organizations, all of these count. They show you know how to apply what you've learned. They prove you can show up, contribute, and work with other people. Start building experience as early as you can. Freshman year is not too early to join a club related to your field. Sophomore year is a great time to look for your first internship or job shadow opportunity. The more you do, the more you have to talk about in interviews, and the more connections you make. Networking is a word that makes a lot of students cringe. It sounds fake, transactional, uncomfortable. But at its core, networking is just building genuine relationships with people in your field. It's following up after a class speaker. It's connecting with a professor who works in an area you love. It's staying in touch with that internship supervisor even after the summer ends. These relationships matter. Studies show that a huge percentage of jobs are never publicly posted. They're filled through connections. So the question isn't whether you should network. The question is, how soon are you going to start? Section 5. Setting goals and making a plan. Okay. You know yourself. You've researched careers. You're building experience. Now it's time to put it all together into a real plan. The best career plans use SMART goals, goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Instead of saying, I want a good job, a SMART goal sounds like, by the end of this semester, I will apply to 3 internships in the marketing field. Your plan should have short-term goals, things you'll accomplish this month or this semester. Mid-term goals, things you'll accomplish by graduation. And long-term goals, where you want to be 5 to 10 years after you leave college. Write these down, seriously. Research shows that people who write down their goals are significantly more likely to achieve them. Put them somewhere you'll see them regularly. And review your plan often. Life changes. You'll discover new interests. The job market shifts. Flexibility isn't failure. It's smart planning. Here's the most important thing to remember. The goal of planning isn't to predict the future perfectly. It's to give yourself direction and momentum so that when opportunities show up, you're ready to take them. So let's bring it all together. Planning your future starts with knowing yourself, your interests, and your values. Then it moves to researching real career paths. Then building experience and connections. And finally, setting SMART goals and committing them to paper. You don't have to have it all figured out right now, but you do have to start. The students who build remarkable careers aren't necessarily the smartest ones or the most talented. They're the ones who started asking the right questions early and didn't stop. If this video helped you think differently about your future, hit that like button. It seriously helps this channel reach more students who need this content. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video, and drop a comment below with one career goal you're setting for yourself this semester. I read every single comment and I'd love to cheer you on. Your future is being built right now, one choice at a time. Make it count.